fantastic book, which I would like us to talk about a little bit.
So when partition happened, they had to leave everything. If you focus only on wealth, it is not going to be permanent. I think I'm very lucky I was not born rich. We should put our children in such situations because it builds them stronger. A lot of things will move online. A lot of businesses will have to start learning how to use online means.
Hello and welcome to Inside Talks with Gennady Polonsky. Today's my guest is Yogesh Chabria. Yogesh Chabria is a very successful Indian businessman. His teaching, his writings, his podcasts, his audio series has touched life of about 20 million people. Welcome, Yogesh Chabria. Would love to talk to you.
Hi, Gennady. I should say privet. I hope privet, Gennady. Nice seeing you.
Yeah, the same. What time is it? Where are you, first of all?
Right now, I'm in Mumbai, and it is 2:30 in the afternoon. 2:32 to be specific.
Yeah, that's something I was confused every time because I thought the world is divided into time zones, but there must be like every hour. And then in Iran, I discovered that there could be like 1:30 difference, 1 hour 30 minutes. And in India, so you said, what time is it now? Because it's 11 o'clock my time.
It's 2:30 here.
It's 2:30 here. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're in Kiev. You're in Kiev right now.
Yeah, I'm not in Kiev, but I am in a beautiful small town at the border of Slovakia and Hungary. It's called Uzhgorod. We kind of had some business in the past. I remember many, many years ago, I think, I was in
2016.
2016. Oh, well, it's not that far. It's not that far.
Yeah.
Yes, and then after that, you send me your fantastic book, which I would like us to talk about a little bit. Unfortunately, there is no Russian edition yet, but I think
it is waiting for you. It is calling you to translate it, to get it translated.
That's something which I think should do, because I love the book. It's not just a theoretical book, but there are a lot of action plans, so people can use it as a diary of their personal development. But I would like to start with, why are you doing what are you doing?
I'll tell a bit about myself. So I remember when I was a 5-year-old boy, and my grandparents were refugees. So India and Pakistan were one country, and then partition happened. And when partition happened, my grandparents, we belonged to a community called Sindhis. So this is the Indus Valley civilization, so from which the word Hindu comes. And they were Sindhis. So when partition happened, they had to leave everything in Sindh and come to India. So when they came to India, they could bring nothing. So they had to leave, they had property, they had horses, they had cows, they had gold, everything they had to leave, come to India with nothing. And when they came to India with nothing, when we were growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. And one thing that really stayed with me, I remember I was a 5-year-old boy, and my grandfather, who I call Dada. In our language, we call grandfather Dada. What do we call in Russian? How do we call grandfather?
Papa. It's Papa.
Okay, so we call Dada.
Oh.
So he called me and he showed me 2 pictures, and the first picture he showed me was the goddess of wealth. So in our culture, we have the goddess of wealth who is called Lakshmi. We pray to her, for wealth, for prosperity. So he shows me the picture and he says, Yogesh, what do you see? What do you understand? I was a 5-year-old boy. And I said, grandfather, this is the goddess of wealth. We pray to her, we respect her, we worship her. He said, no, there is something more. There's a deeper meaning. I said, no, I don't know. He said, okay. He showed me a second picture. This was the goddess of knowledge, which is called Saraswati. So he says, what do you see? I said, this is the goddess of knowledge. We respect books. We learn from books. He said, no, there is something symbolic. I said, no, I don't know. And he said, if you look at the image of Lakshmi, if you do a Google search, any of your viewers do a Google search on goddess of wealth, Lakshmi, they will see a picture of a lady, of a goddess. She's wearing beautiful clothes. She has gold, but she's sitting on a lotus. And he says, this is symbolic. A lotus is not stable. A lotus is in a pond. If you have money, you can build a nice house anywhere. You will shine. But if one frog comes or one wind comes, this wealth can go away. He says, wealth is not permanent. This is what happened with us. So we were in Sindh, we were in Pakistan. Partition happened. We had to leave everything there and come to India. So, if you focus only on wealth, it is not going to be permanent. Today it is there, tomorrow it might not be there, and history has shown, whether you see refugees of anywhere, overnight, material wealth goes. And second he showed me was the picture of Saraswati. Again, if you do a Google search, if your audience does a Google search on the goddess of knowledge, Saraswati, she sits on a rock. And he said, knowledge is very stable. If you keep investing in knowledge, you can grow, you can attract wealth, you can do everything. And today's world proves that. So you see the biggest inventions, you see Facebook, you see WhatsApp, you see anything, even what you and I are doing, the underlying principle is knowledge. And he said, don't just learn knowledge, act on it. And that stayed with me. And that was a driving principle for my life, that if we get knowledge and we act on it, we can really grow. And he said, if you invest in Saraswati, that is knowledge, Lakshmi will be attracted and all the good things will happen. And that's what just inspired me to share my ideas. So many people have shared something positive with me, helped me grow, and I really enjoy it. So somebody after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, they come, Yogesh, you shared an interesting idea, a young person, anybody, and they grow. That gives me immense pleasure. So that's the reason I do what I do, and I believe each one of us has a potential, to do things that we are meant to do. Right. And this is something that really stayed with me, the importance of mixing knowledge, wealth, and this is from, like 5,000, 10,000 years ago. These books are from 10,000 years ago, and even today it's relevant. Even tomorrow we go to Mars, we go anywhere, these underlying principles will continue to remain relevant.
It's really very symbolic that knowledge was sitting on the rock. I didn't know that myself.
Yeah.
A lot of, and wealth, you're right. They say people who are very wealthy, they think how to preserve their wealth, how to invest wisely, how not to be robbed, how to not to get friends with someone who wants to take advantage of them. So the level of warriors in the rich people actually much higher than those who've got nothing. So they worry about a couple of things: where to sleep, what to eat, and that's it. But when you're wealthy, I mean, this instability actually growing up, it seems to be that you're more stable because you've got money.
I think I'm very lucky I was not born rich, because if I was born rich, I would not focus on growing myself. So when I was 5 years old, I used to sell toys. I started selling toys. And I was very hungry. Imagine if I'm given everything on a platter. I will not be hungry for growth. I will not be hungry for learning. In fact, if there's something known as the resource curse. So if you look at the maximum conflict in the world are in places which are rich in natural resources, Africa, Middle East, because they have natural resources. So somebody who's invading can kill people, take the resources. But if you look at a country like Japan, or if you look at like places like India, where the technology growth is there, the resource is the human brain. So people will work harder and grow. So in fact, many times a resource curse is there.
Right. But in this case, then let me ask you a personal question. Yeah. I know that you have a lovely boy, a son. Now, obviously, your son is never hungry. Your son doesn't have to go and sell something, to neighbors. So you are giving him maximum you can give. Maximum. Right. Like I do for my children. And my question is, aren't we spoiling them? Aren't we making them dependent? Aren't we preventing their creativity, their smartness, being streetwise, looking here and there, and understanding the meaning of life earlier in life than when they have everything? So what can you answer?
It's interesting, he doesn't have to sell, but still he sold Rakis. There is a festival in India where a brother ties something to the sister ties to the brother. He sold these in the building, and he did it on his own. So I discussed ideas with him. He was 3 years old. He went door to door to sell these Rakis, and just encouraging them to be open to the idea, to be able to fish for themselves. Because today you have wealth, tomorrow you might not have wealth. So our role as parents, your role, my role, is to give them the opportunity and also encourage them to work, to do things, because once they start doing it, they feel self-confident. So even if I know you have daughters, encouraging them, to go out, to sell, to work, and because when they go out and they work, they use their own mind. So if they're good at painting, if they go out, make paintings and sell those paintings, even if they make only 50 cents or $1, it gives them a sense that they can do it.
It's interesting.
So I feel
Mm-hmm.
Encouraging them. So I'll tell you an example. One of our clients, their company name is HK Group. They are one of the largest diamond companies in the world, and they're around $2 billion. They have 10,000 employees, based in India. The founder studied only till the fourth grade, but there is a tradition in their family, when their children become 19 or 20 years old, they send them to a new city with no money. It is called the Hare Krishna group. So all their young people, they might have studied at Harvard. They come back, they take away their cell phone, they send them to a new city where nobody knows them, and they have to start from fresh. And that experience of 2 months, 3 months, where the young boy or girl goes for 2 months without money, gives them insights. So their children have worked at shops, sold things. So that makes them also become more empathetic. So if you have a company with 10,000 employees, you are also more empathetic to people working for you. So that is very important. So no matter who you are, having empathy, having compassion, that comes when you put yourself in such situations.
It's
So
interesting.
even we should put our children in such situations, because it builds them stronger. It's like muscles, right? They become strong only when you challenge them.
Yes. Well, it's interesting because it's still kind of not very clear. For example, if you keep them sheltered and then they came from Harvard and you say, you go there, you can break them, because like you have to build it up from early ages. This is a bit tricky, really, how to, because when you're really in the conditions, when you've got no one to rely on, and then it's slightly different than creating this. It's still like a theater in a way. You know what I mean? So, and I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. I don't know how to make them self-confident and strong for life, and at the same time treat them as they are the most precious thing on earth.
Every father, every mother has that challenge. And the best way, I mean, she's 7 or 8, you can tell her as an adult, the way you discuss with an adult. You say, okay, that's great, I'm so happy you made $100, but try this out with somebody who doesn't know you, who doesn't know you're Gennady's daughter, or who doesn't know you. Why don't you try it out? Maybe, you know what, you will be surprised, Gennady, maybe she can still sell it at $100. You never know. But give her the opportunity to explore. So I say, this is great. Why don't you try it out in school? Why don't you try it out in your neighborhood? Not everybody might give you 100. Some might give you more, some might give you less. But why don't you experience it and have fun with it? And when you have that conversation, children are pretty intelligent and they get it, and put them in that situation. And also, I feel, don't pressurize them. Let them bloom on their own. Like my son, we were walking down our building. This was how he started selling is because they had made these Rakis and they're kept in the building. Now, he himself said, Dad, I want to sell these. I said, okay. So he went door to door, sold it. Somebody bought it. Some people said no to him also. Some people said no to a 3-year-old. And it's important for him to hear the no's, because not everybody will tell you yes. It's very important for children to be ready to hear the no, because in life, no matter what you try, not 100 times people will say yes. And you don't need 100 people to say yes to you. And as parents, we are giving them a gift if we let them understand that not everybody will say yes, not everybody will accept us. So we need to keep trying. We need to be persistent.
Yes, yes. The next question is, how do you praise them? Because in Anglo-Saxon culture, there's very strong this praising thing. So no matter what you do, people say, wonderful, wonderful, you did well, wonderful, like to encourage. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I think there should be sort of a balance. Yeah. Because once you start criticizing each other, they say, oh, critiques will kind of kill the self-confidence and it's bad. So what's your answer?
So, like my personal take is, it's not criticism.
Look, I've got 5 children, and I'm asking you.
I have one. You are more experienced. So I'll share my experience. It might be right, it might be wrong. But what I look at it is, whether we, criticize them or we are not criticizing them, we are telling them the process. So, for example, let us say, I'll tell you, my son, he saw a chocolate in the shop, the lollipop, and I told him, no, don't eat it because it's not good for your teeth. Once in a way, it's fine. And you know how children are, they'll start crying. I said, no, I'll tell you why. So I showed him some pictures on the internet that if you eat too many sweets, your teeth will become black. Mm-hmm. Had little effect. But yesterday we were on the beach So there was a small boy, 6-year-old, we were playing, and that boy had very bad teeth, unfortunately. So I asked him, can you show your teeth? He showed his teeth to my son, and my son got scared. And he said, I asked him, why you are, he said, because every day I would eat a chocolate. Every day I would eat 1, 2 chocolates, and that affected my teeth. And so I told my son, if the choice is yours. If you eat a chocolate every day, it will affect your teeth. Once in a way, it's okay. So, it is not that I'm telling him not to do this or that. I'm giving him an explanation. Or sometimes they might do some things which are not correct or not right. I'll say it's a good try, but for you to improve the process, you can improve the process by trying harder. So if you focus on the process, this has nothing to do with him. His name is Samarveer. It's the process. Even I am constantly improving. So if you say, okay, it's a good start, but this process can be improved, why don't you try more? So you can always encourage the process. So it has nothing to do with your daughter. It is the process she's doing. So if you tell a child, they did an experiment where if you tell a child that, you are intelligent, or on the other hand, you say, no, this is a good try. You tried hard, this is something nice you did. Keep trying at it. The children who are told you are trying hard, were able to face challenges. Because if you tell somebody, you are born smart or you're born intelligent, and they face a challenge and they're not able to figure it out, they'll give it up. But if you encourage them, no, keep trying harder, keep working at it, you are persistent, you can do it, they will get that.
Yes.
And I mean, it's that, it's not genetic ability, I mean, none of us has some superior gene. I believe it's the process.
It's the same like in the company level when we say that, you cannot encourage people. You can separate the personality with the deed, with the process. We can say, Gennady, you're a good guy, but what you've done is rubbish, not good.
Yeah,
So
absolutely,
in this area, we feel,
absolutely.
okay, well, nobody is touching me, nobody criticizing me, but they're
Exactly,
criticizing what I tried to do, and they're showing me
exactly,
how to do it better. So that's
exactly,
probably the way forward.
exactly. And that's how even, there are so many people, who reform, who had done criminal acts, now they're doing good things because they don't associate themselves as a criminal. They did something that was a criminal act, but they're reformed. It's the same with smokers. If you say I'm a smoker, you will smoke. But if you say no, I am a non-smoker. So it's the mindset, So if our kids have a mindset that no, we are good people and we become good by doing good things. It's not because I'm born in your house or my house that makes me special. It's the act we do that makes us good. It's
Right.
like karma, right? We have a theory of karma. The theory of karma says what you do, that's what you'll get. And the theory of karma is the same. If you do good things, you'll get good results. If you work hard, if you are compassionate, if you're kind, the world will treat you in a similar way.
Do you believe in karma yourself? I mean, it's
Yes,
part of your.
yes, I believe in it, and everybody would have experienced it. Let's say you don't believe in, the Hindu concept of karma. Everybody would have experienced it. I'll give you an example. Let us say if you exercise every day, you eat healthy, what is the chance that your body will become healthy? It's a very high probability. But if you don't exercise, if you eat unhealthy, you don't take care of your body, it's a very high probability that your body won't be healthy. Everybody would have experienced it, whether you believe in the concept of karma or not, everybody has gone through it,
So
experienced
it's
it.
basically
As
cause and
simple as
effect.
eating food.
Cause and effect.
It's
Cause
cause
and
and effect.
effect.
Yes, and it's a universal thing. It works in Ukraine, it works in Russia, it works in Kazakhstan, it works in India, everywhere. If I give love to somebody, if I give love to my wife, to my children, it is like the seeds you plant. If you plant a apple tree seed, you'll get an apple tree. So
However, there were so many bad guys, really terrible people, criminals who lived their
yes.
life well and died well. So what karma? Karma will affect their,
So,
you know,
so now what do you mean by wealth? That is also is well only money, or are there other things also? Because I believe well is not only money. There are other things. There's peace of mind. Are you constantly popping antidepressants? All those things are there. So and for me, I'm nobody to judge somebody, but my belief is, uh, you know, there is a karmic cycle. My belief is, for example, why is somebody born in a certain family? I mean, this is going into like metaphysics and all, but that's my belief. I believe it is a continuous process, and my belief is, even if you don't believe in that, it's better to be good. If you want to succeed at business, it's better to be honest. If I'm honest with you, my long-term chances of business success grow up. If I'm honest with my customers, my long-term chances grow up. If I'm hardworking, if I'm committed, it's better, right?
Yes, and for me, it's not even a matter of choice
Yeah,
because I don't have a choice. I
yeah,
have to act decently because that was the way I was brought up. I mean,
absolutely,
it's not the choice. I cannot even choose to be, bad because it's like,
absolutely, absolutely. And it doesn't. It's not intelligent to be bad, in today's world or anytime. You can be free. If you're honest, you have not stolen somebody's money. You can walk freely. You have a free mind. You can sleep peacefully. You don't need to pop pills.
how relevant your happionary way now, for example? Do you find any things which you would like to change in here, or everything is as true as before coronavirus?
No, we keep adding new thoughts, we keep adding the ingredients continue to remain the same. So even today, it's very relevant because it talks about the importance of goals, importance of taking action, importance of being fearless, the importance of a balanced life. In fact, the importance of physical health, because all of it, in fact, is even more important. So if you are today more people take care of their physical health, more people take care of their mental health. One more challenge that comes up is when people are in lockdown. One of the biggest challenges that come is with your mind, right? Because you're in lockdown, you're not connected with people, so it affects your mind. So it continues to be very relevant. I mean, I was facing this myself. I had to practice these things even more because I love meeting people. I love going out. As you rightly said, we had this energy. It's not about the money. It's about giving this energy some direction. So when you're locked in the house, you sometimes feel, okay, I'm locked in the house. I want to go out. I want to meet people. I want to discuss business. I want to discuss about doing new projects. Now, when that energy is not getting, exit route, sometimes it brings up pent up aggression, pent up anger. So all of those things become even more important. So the importance of having focus, the importance of meditating, which I even shared there. I regularly meditate. So all those practices had to come, and this was in a new surrounding. So earlier, I would like go to the beach for a walk or a run. Now, when I can't go to the beach, what can I do in my house? And I love nature. I love going out in nature. So what can I do in my house? Okay, so we would go to the roof. I would go to the roof and exercise or play. So it's still very relevant and just making the most of that time.
But are you optimistic about the future? Are you optimistic that things will come back to normal or there'll be new normal?
So I am optimistic, because mankind has been through so much, and every time mankind has faced a challenge, it has come out stronger. So I continue to be optimistic, but I also feel a lot of new. So, for example, what was supposed to happen in 2030 happened in 2020 in terms of digitization. So in the world, so many like today, so many people moved online. With simple things. Like my mother now she pays all her bills online. Earlier, she would pay it offline, but because of this pandemic, she moved online. So many of the things that were supposed to happen 10 years later happen today. So a lot of things will move online. A lot of businesses will have to start learning how to use online means, because if you are not able to use these, your business will face challenges. So for example, in India, I'll give you an example. One hand, a lot of businesses shut down. People who were not linked online shut down. But on the same hand, there's a company called Geo. It was started by somebody who was a petrol pump attendant. Today, they are a multi-billion-dollar company. Facebook invested $5 billion in them during this pandemic. Google invested $4 billion during this pandemic because they are a digital technology. They provide phones, they provide digital things. So a lot of things will move online. There will be a lot more focus on health, because people have faced this challenge. So people will start thinking about their health, their mental health, well-being. For example, my wife, she's a yoga teacher. So she teaches online now. And she has people from London, she has people from all over wanting to take care of their health online. And, I mean, people have started realizing, that earlier success was probably money, but today it's everything. It's health, it's family, it's relationship. It's, my ability to pick up the phone and call my friend from school and speak to him. My friend from 20 years ago from school, just having a beautiful conversation with my friend. So those are the things people will start valuing. because they have realized, when you are in lockdown, even my client who has $10 billion, I mean, the life is the same, right? There's no difference. And you start realizing things that really matter, having a good relation with your wife, with your kid, having some friends who you can chat to. If you have a friend from school, those are the things, health. Many people will move out of cities, to places near cities, where they have more nature, they are near a forest, they are near a river. So all those things will happen because of technology. Today, you can work from the forest, you can work from nature. So you don't have to live in Mumbai or London or Paris or New York, which are big cities. You can move out, go live anywhere, but they will need human connection. They will want to be a part of groups. They will want to go for retreats. They will want to come for seminars where they can meet people, connect. So the human connection will become more important.
Yes, yes. So the fundamental values, which were always with us, family, relationship, good food, health, we are less concerned, during the quarantine, who cared what sort of car you drive? What sort of clothes you have? I mean,
Exactly.
it was irrelevant, absolutely irrelevant.
Those are superficial things, whether this shirt costs $1 or $20, nobody cares. It is what is inside, the human connection. And people will start realizing that your life is more valuable than having a logo on something.
Exactly.
You don't need to work 18 hours a day for a logo. You work for learning, for passion, for creating impact.
Wise thinking, dear Yogesh. Wise thinking and wise word.
A smile everywhere is a smile. Whether you are in India, Russia, America, Ukraine, everywhere a smile is a smile. Warmth is warmth. Friendship is friendship. A father's love for his child is the same. So we all share universal values. We all have differences too. But if we focus on the common and learn from each other, I can learn from you, you can learn from me, we'll have a beautiful existence, we'll have a beautiful life.
And if we would build economies around this thinking as well. So not just competition at any cost, but this really cooperation, co-elevation,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because if you collaborate, you can grow, Together we can grow. Everybody, everything is a collaborative effort, Business in today's world has to be collaborative.
Well, thank you very much, Yogesh. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure. Enjoy yourself. Thank you very much. Take care.
Talk
See
to
you.
you.
See you. Bye. Thank you very much.
Bye.